Good evening, everyone, and hello. Nice to see you again. We're back in the library in our corner of the internet where we talk about fountain pens, inks, journals, and journaling. Just about anything and everything that will keep you inspired. Welcome to the show. Excuse me. Happy to be back. Happy to have a voice again. I'll tell you some stories. That's what we'll do tonight. I promise it will be a very fun episode, very chaotic, interesting. We're going to show some of the haul that I brought back from New York, which is not very big, and some other things that I acquired recently. And then someone also sent me something to see if I would show it and share it with you guys. So I thought, let's open it up together and have a look, and we can decide what we want to do with it. I also want to tell some stories about travel, and maybe if we get to it, a few other interesting things. I want to touch on journaling and talk about a first fountain pen story. Someone very dear to me received their first fountain pen in the last week. So lovely stuff. I must express a huge thank you to one of my dearest friends, Lad Gardner, who started off the night strong with the super chat for $25. Laddie, my man, you always amaze me. Just a wonderful guy, a member of the channel. So thank you very much. Membership program on this channel is going strong. We're doing the Cognoscenti and Illuminati members are doing a letter exchange with me, and then we have like a pen pal correspondence ring going for all of us as well. So a lot of fun stuff, a lot of interesting things to talk about. So you may have heard I've been in New York for the last week, but I'm back. Of course, as soon as I got back, I got really ill, which happens. I got a stomach bug that kept me in bed all day Friday, and it was not pleasant. And then I got a cold, and now I'm getting over everything. So you might hear little traces in my voice. Kaylee, your daughter's first fountain pen. Could it possibly be? It could indeed possibly be that. So I see Shaq MD is here. Shaq MD, I'll put his name up, has his own YouTube channel where he very relaxingly draws beautiful sentences with some of the finest fountain pens out in the market. A very relaxing, very beautiful YouTube channel. So one of the fun things, if you guys are looking at the chat, you'll see everyone speaking about the letters that they're writing back and forth. So that's super fun. I love seeing that. But okay, so let's start talking about some stuff, huh? First of all, I was a little disappointed with how the Jerbon video performed. I'm maybe a bit more of a stickler on the statistics than you guys might imagine, or maybe that's good sometimes, but it's more about you want to see a progression. You want to think like you're always doing better. When you release a video and they rank them and it's like 3 out of 10, you're like, oh, this is great. I'm achieving something here. The Jerbon video came out and it was 9 out of 10, which is just really kind of disappointing. And I always wonder what I did wrong in producing it, why it wouldn't catch on. And I think there were a couple of things. And if you haven't watched it, seek it out. It's a lot of fun. Jerbon sent a little care package, and I go through the history of the brand, who Jacques Herbon was, talk all about how the company started, used pigments to make inks and sealing waxes, and was established in Paris back in the late 1700s 17th century, and just came down through the years and did some amazing things. And then we unbox the items, and then we talk about them, review them, and demonstrate them, all within one video, which I think maybe in retrospect was too ambitious. Maybe I should have cut it into 2 videos because it was long. It was about 25 minutes long. So Lead Dog says, "You're too tough on yourself. I thought it was great." Thank you. I'm very tough on myself, guys. I think I am a curious mix of ego and self-loathing. I think that's one of the keys to understanding me. That one minute I just sound like this horrific narcissistic egoist, and just as you're like, oh man, that guy, he's way too full of himself, I go into a pitch dive, a nosedive of self-loathing that just balances it all out. So that's the nature of me. But I am always trying to do better, and especially for you guys, I really want to produce like really interesting videos that are compelling. That my goal is that you see a Hemingway Jones video and you watch it because I produced it, because it's going to be interesting, it's going to be a unique perspective, it's going to be edited well, it's going to be entertaining, it's going to be charming, it's going to have some attributes that you do not find on other channels. That's my goal, is to beguile you, to entertain you. Are you not entertained? So when I fall short, I do like to do better. So this is what goes through my mind. And plus, this is an important enterprise to me. And I'm aiming this at the members. You guys are my audience. So when I think of who I produce my videos for, it's the members of the channel. I feel like it's such a wide, wonderful cross-section of fountain pen enthusiasts that if I speak to you and I get you guys on board, I should have everyone on board. I hope. So it's okay, you know? So I think there were a couple things with that video. I think maybe it was too long. I think I should try to keep my videos between 12 and 15 minutes, I think. So I think if I had cut it in half somewhere, maybe did the unboxing and then went back and did the review, and I could have easily split it into 2. I actually considered it at the time. It would be easier for me. Why not? Excuse me. But I felt like it needed all to get out there together, that it sort of started together, so I didn't. But I think the major issue, and the reason why I'm telling you this, is that I think I released it at the wrong time. Even though I look and I see when all of you are online, and it shows that you're online mostly Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays midday. But I don't know if that means necessarily that you're watching. But I think that in the summer, Fridays at noon aren't the best times to release videos. I could be wrong, but I'm going to test it. And that's why this is being laid out to you. So this Thursday at noon, I will be releasing my next video. And it's an interesting one. It's a doozy. It's a very poetic one. If you like my more essay-based videos, where it's based on the writing and the B-roll and the rhythm and the music supports the words, and there's that poetic drive, that narrative that just carries you from one image to the next. If you like those versions of my videos, then I think you'll particularly enjoy this one. And what's it about? It's about the end of my flex pen journey. So it's another look at the Mont Blanc 146 from the point of view of my journey to find the perfect flex pen and where it all ended up. So it's a nice, I would say finale, but I know myself better than that. And I don't want to be like the Rolling Stones and do 50 different farewell tours, or The Who or someone. So I'm just going to put it out there that it's where I am right now, and it wraps everything up nicely into a nice little bow. So I think you're really going to love the language. You're going to love the poetic thrust of this one. So it's Thursday at noon, and it's called, I should know the exact title, but it's something like Flex Quest Ends. So a farewell to Flex, I think it is, because I wanted to sort of evoke Hemingway with a farewell to arms. So I think it's a farewell to Flex. So look for that, and I think you'll enjoy it. So I see Bell Boots liked the video but couldn't watch it on Friday. See, this is part of what I'm thinking. I don't think it's just working stiffs too. And this is part of the problem, Bell Boots. It's like if you release something on Friday, you need to get a good bit of hits or the algorithm just decides to suppress it. It's like, well, no one liked it, so we're not going to show it to anybody. So that's why it even matters. If it were just sort of out there and stood on its own and eventually people got around to seeing it, that would be fine. But that's not how YouTube works. YouTube's about getting new content out there. And if you put something up and it doesn't do as well as your other content, it just falls off and no one gets to see it. That's sort of how they view it. It's kind of a shame. So I think a lot of people are very, very busy on Fridays getting ready to go away for the weekend. And especially this weekend, because I thought about it. It's July 4th. I don't know how it became July 4th. And who is the maniac to put July 4th on a Tuesday? What were they thinking? It's a terrible time for July 4th. Anyway, so thanks for the likes, by the way, guys. I appreciate all the likes and all the super chats, like Laddie, who started us off. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. So all of that. Kaylee said, just thinking of farewell to arms, perhaps I should have done farewell to Flex. Well, there's still time. Still time. So perhaps I will. Thanks, Kaylee. Ooh, the mighty Curse Geisinger with a $20 super chat. Thank you, my friend. I'd hug you if I could. I appreciate it. Thank you. You guys help keep the lights on. You guys keep me inspired. When YouTube lets me down and doesn't promote my videos, it's guys like you that keep me going. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kurt. You're the man. This is for you. Ah, nice. So I'm going to release on Thursday this week. So that's my long explanation as to why we will be releasing on Thursday. And I might do that through the summer. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Time with Tata has better success later in the day at 5 p.m. You know, Tata, it's hard. It's like, maybe I would. Maybe I'll do that. But if you look when people are supposed to be on, I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if I should be following that. There's so much of YouTube that's a mystery. But I definitely have trained people that it was Friday at noon. Like I always say that, Fridays at noon, which I stopped saying in my recent videos. You'll notice in my new videos coming out that I'm like, well, I release new videos all the time. So I promise we will see each other again soon, further up the road. So now it's just new videos. They're coming. Trust me. Because they are. So much stuff coming, guys. The B-roll in New York. The narrative in New York. I have a video coming up that I am so proud of. So proud of. And one shot in particular, I almost want to see if I could put it up. It's so cool. Chiro Fake Name, one of my best friends on here, says, which time zones are most of your viewers? Most of my viewers are Eastern time zone. Similar to myself, oddly enough. I thought it'd be more spread out, but it's the Eastern Corridor and the U.S. is still the majority of my peeps, and maybe that's why noon's okay, because it's like midday Friday, people having lunch or people playing hooky. Benjo Marklin, the legend. Somebody who's been a member since the very, very early days and who was quoting Jean Valjean, one of my favorite characters. Who am I to... I'm not going to do that. 24601. A super chat, $20 from Benjo. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. There are no bad plants or bad people, just bad cultivators. Jean Valjean. Just arrested for stealing some bread. And most likely written by J. Urban Inc. That's right, because as we found out in the J. Urban video, Victor Hugo used J. Urban Inc. So thank you for that $20 super chat. This is to you. Thank you. If super chats were a drinking game, I might get a little buzz tonight. So thank you. Okay. So we're talking about B-roll and narratives. So I have a video coming out. And I want to see if quite possibly I could share this with you. And the reason that I find it really interesting is that I took a video of a black statue. Now, black is probably not the best description. What it was a bronze statue that had patinaed to the appearance of black to the naked eye. But what it actually looked like, I'm trying to see if this will work. Oh, hold on, guys. I'm really not that great at this. I think you guys know what it looked like when you, let me see if I can figure this out. When you saw it in the light was gold. See, it's this one right here. I don't know if you can see it. Try to get it there so you can see the way that looks is so cool. All right, so it's kind of a still, but that, if you could see any of that, was just the statue. So, I don't know if you were able to see any of this, but it's very cool. Okay. I'm going to figure out how to get it back on me. So, all right, we'll go to this. So, it's just like the camera saw it as golden and bronze when the eye saw it as black. So that means that it was sort of like two ways of looking at reality. You have this really dark view of it, but the light that it was giving off was full of this golden luster. It was so incredible. Simon asked that I bring my camera to New York. I didn't. Well, I actually brought my Leica X2, but I didn't use it much. I ended up using just my phone, which is what took that video. So it was very, very cool. So I think you guys did get to see it. I just couldn't get it to play because I don't know how to use this program very well. Let's be honest. But okay, so let's jump into some show and tell while I try to figure out how to bring myself back up into the entire picture too. By the way, pen lately I've been obsessed with the Egyptomania. I've been really obsessed with this. We've hardly parted. In fact, I just cleaned it. Doesn't look pretty. It's such a beautiful pen, guys. It's so gorgeous. Oh man. I do have a little bit of regret that I didn't buy the one with, I think it was called a Dulé or something along those lines, with the Book of the Dead written on it. That would have been cool. I may yet find one, but I quite love this. Okay, So you know that. So I want to show you some stuff that I bought. This is the first thing I bought. And it's not grand, guys. I didn't go crazy. But I did have a lot of fun. So this came from the place whose name... Oh no, this came from Muji. Alright, I can say Muji. So here I am practicing. So this cool thing is a brush pen, which is a proper brush pen. And I'm complete rubbish, but look at this. Isn't this cool? Like, imagine if I had talent. Isn't that the coolest thing you've ever seen? And just like some of the detail and things you can do. It's just so amazing. It's hard to kind of balance it and play with it at the same time. Now, pretend I'm a talented person doing these things and put this in like someone's hands who knows what they're doing. And it's just so powerful, so fun. Like, the things you can do with this are just limitless. You could learn to write kanji, you could paint, you could sketch, you can draw, you can do so many different things. You can just like fill it in and be as like sketchy as you want to be. Look at that. Isn't that brilliant? Am I crazy? Is this fun? By the way, look at this. Look at my daughter did this. And by the way, do you see this? Happy Father's Day, Dad. Love. She wrote her name in cursive at 6. Yes. I showed her how to do it once, and she emulated me. And she made a beautiful cat. So, isn't this amazing? I mean, I just think it's so fun. It's just so, and if you had talent, you could really take off and just do some really extraordinary things. You could do those like minimalist drawings. Like, I was trying to think of one of those, like, you know, the Japanese prints, they do like a bird with only a few strokes. I mean, I just can't do it. But they're always like so stylized, but so pretty. Just, imagine this is decent. It looks a little sad. Kind of looks like a sad penguin who's drying his wings. But pretty neat, right? Am I wrong? So this is one thing I got, which I quite like. And I've been having a lot of fun with this. Almost more fun than anything else. So very neat. And of course, you can write. You can write with it. Not very well, evidently, but you could if you had talent. That's what I love about it, though, is I've used some brush pens before, And they were so hard. And they just weren't that fun to use. And this one feels like an actual brush. Okay. Let me see if I can bring myself back. I gotta figure out how to do this. Da, da, da. Okay. Let me see. Oops. We don't want that. How did that happen? Oh, there he is. Oh, I missed you. Where you been? So, I'm going to show you more stuff. But before I do, I wanted to tell you the story of my daughter's first fountain pen. So, now that she's reached the ripe old age of 6, she is really kind of feeling very mature and very engaged in anything I do. She loves to share in. And certainly fountain pens are big on that. And we were in the bookstore from the province Kinokuniya? I hope that's right. You know what I mean, though. My wife should be here to tell me. I always forget the name. We had a lot of fun in that stationery store. But so we're in there, and my daughter picked up a platinum preppy demo model and just fell in love with it. She was just using it on the paper. She kept writing her name in cursive on all of the test sheets. If you go in there now, if you're in New York City, you could go in and get a commemorative Hemingway Jones's daughter's signature there. Actually, some of mine are there too. And she got her first fountain pen. It was a platinum preppy. And I'll say this about platinum preppies. They're dear to my heart, and I love them. And they're actually featured in an upcoming video. A little platinum preppy Kakuno joint mention is coming up. But here's the thing about those. Aren't they hard to get started? I mean, you put that cartridge in and you just wait like 10 minutes before that thing starts. And my daughter's like, maybe you need to clean it. Maybe it's broken. Maybe it's out of ink. Do you know how to do this? Are you doing it right? Do you need to put it in your inkwell? I'm like, honey, I know how to do this. I've done it a few times. But it was just so cute. And the beautiful part is that she is using it correctly. She's keeping the nib nice and straight and up and down. So she's doing a beautiful job. Okay, let's get back to some show and tell. But I wanted to share that and also say how much fun we spent at Kinokuniya, that place. Okay, let's look at more stuff. Shall we? Okay. So, I did buy something for myself. I bought this. I'm so excited. Isn't it cool? It was kind of expensive, but I bought it in New York. It was $37 for a Lamy Vista. I mean, who wouldn't love this? I've never seen one in person before, oddly enough. Here it is, in all its glory. Nice shiny Lamy there. Still has the cardboard insert because I haven't used it yet. You guys know me. I don't use it until we're together. Until we're together, it doesn't happen. But what do you think of this? Isn't it a beauty? It does violate some of my rules, though, doesn't it? About pens that are just different colors. But it's a loophole in a way because it has no color. The Pen Neo has no color. But there it is. Kaylee says, we have Kinokuniya here too. Great paper selection. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But here we have it. Should I set it up or should I save it for a video? I'll do both. Now I forget which way it goes. It's that way, right? Is this like a Safari where you just put it together and it... Yeah. Thing is that we probably would have to wait for a while as it fills up. Yeah. You know what? I'll just dip it. Let's just dip it, shall we? So it has a medium, which is exciting. It's very nice. Ah, this is going to be nice. I'm signing my bird. So there you have it. I think this was a nice choice. I'm kind of excited to use it. It's cute. It's clear. Maybe I should clean it. See, all the ink is now working its way down. Looking all thirsty as it goes through the feed. It'll take me forever to take the sticker off. You know what? I don't know if this is dipped. Yeah, it probably is the same color. I'm just amazed at how well it's writing. So, what do you think of this one, guys? Did I do okay? I feel like I did. But see, not very ambitious, right? You probably expected me to come home with something outrageous. And I didn't. I barely spent anything. But I really like it. I'm really excited. Okay, so there's that. And then there's another one. Now, I didn't buy this in New York. I just bought this while I was in New York. And then it showed up at my house when I came home. And it's sort of getting lumped into New York consciousness with me. It's just iridescent. I mean, I know I didn't need it. But you know, the worst thing for me is and once again, I haven't used it. I didn't set it up or anything. So I have to bang that out of there. I hate that, but it happens. It's squeaky. I think it's a fine, but I have Kaweco nibs. I can change it to whatever. But I mean, come on, isn't this beautiful? Perloid. In the guitar world, they call this mother of toilet seat. But it's really beautiful. I love it. I think it's so fun. And it was cheap. It's like $29. How could I say no? How could I say no? Well, I didn't. I bought it. So this will be on the channel soon. Super exciting. What do you guys think? Oh, I see some love. Ellie J, love that Kaweco. I also could not resist it and got one. Yeah, see? A foolish inconsistency is the hobgoblin of small minds. So why not break some of my rules, right? By the way, I had this the whole trip. The video on this, I filmed. The voiceover is done. The B-roll is done. I just haven't edited any of it. But this is going to be epic. And by the way, I am so glad I used the gold-plated clip. The more I do it, the more I'm glad. But epic. Okay, a few more things. I bought this because I have such an active correspondence with the Cognoscenti and Illuminati members of this channel. So many letters going back and forth. So much fun. Every new member gets a personal letter from me. I try to make them nice. So I bought this to try to keep up with all the mail. There's a problem though. This claimed to be fountain pen friendly. And it is not. It is not. It's nice paper. It's a pretty set. It also has lines that are way too big. Look at these lines. Aren't they big? They're so big. Can you see them okay? They're so large. So I just wrote a letter to someone on this, and then I wrote it on the back. Maybe in the future I might start on the back and maybe ignore the lines. I'm not really sure. But the reason is that it feathers horrifically if you use something like this. It would feather if I used this. This is a 1.1 stub. By the way, the bronze, it's resonant. Resonant, guys. It resonates. It has a conversation with you while you use it. Resonates. It rings. It chimes. Awesome. This pen is awesome. Adventure Denali was right. She said, don't hold yourself back. It's markedly different than the brass. And she's right. Not just the quality, but it's all about the materials. It's all about, matter of fact, sometimes it's all about the materials. I should use that somewhere. Okay, so I bought this, and it has these really lovely envelopes. Are you guys fans of envelopes? Is it worth me showing you envelopes? Some people would think, that's boring, don't show them envelopes. But I think you're like me, and you're like, show me those envelopes. The envelopes are nice. They're sort of doubled up. Look at that. These are nice. So I mailed my first one today. You'll see it. But not super excited. Oh, I guess you should hear how I mitigated it. So let me tell you how I mitigated it. So when I run into this problem where stationery lets me down, as this stuff has, I'm going to move the wrappers. So this stuff, should you see it in your own Kinokuniya store, is not very good for fountain pens. It feathers if you do a wide line. And I began by using my beloved, can you guess? Can you guess? Flex Waterman 5. The amazing Waterman 5 that just gives you incredible line variation. Well, this feathered out like some kind of a fungus spreading across the page. I thought I was initiating The Last of Us when I saw its fibers and trails suddenly spreading across the page. I got a little nervous. So what did I do? I put the Waterman 5 away, and I took out the Mont Blanc 146. And you're like, why would you use a 146? It's another flex pen. Yeah, it is, but it's an extra fine if you don't flex it. So I just wrote with it as an extra fine. And it was fine. It was lovely. And it was nice to use, but not ideal. So wasted a bit of money here, but not a lot. And I'll use it. I don't think it was a lot of money. It was $18. $18, guys. Okay. So I also bought this. A nice Midori dot grid notebook. This, on the other hand, is very fountain pen friendly. Now, I didn't realize it had dots on it for whatever reason. Or I did, but I wasn't really thinking about it. I don't play well with dots. So I put lines behind it, and I just write as if there's lines, and I just ignore the dots. So I should probably do it on the back from now on. But this eats up ink. It expresses it wonderfully. It is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful paper type. Kind of small, but small's good. Because you know why these pads are good? When you're writing a letter and you got to the end of something and then you're like, I want to say a few more things, but I don't want to say a ton. That's when you take this out. So there you go. Very good. I'll say out of all the stationery, this is still my favorite. It's hard to find the matching envelopes, but I'm still digging the Triomphe Clairefontaine. I have this. This is when I have a lot to say. I got my lines. I put them under here. It makes me look like I'm neater than I am. And then I have all this real estate. Look at all this real estate I can write on. And then I have envelopes that match this. So I quite like these. And then I also have this, which is like the A5 version. Oh, sorry, upside down. Same paper. And it also has the very nice lines. So, Cognoscenti and Illuminati members have received both of these. Excuse me. And you guys have also received some Florentine paper from me, and I've ordered more. So that is on the way. For those of you that don't know what I'm speaking about, it's paper that comes in these kind of packages. So it's made in Florence. Here I only have an envelope. But what's an envelope? What an envelope. This does not disappoint. This is beautiful stuff. This is 10 sheets. They're usually around $20 for 10 sheets. Actually, this is 14. This I have, oh, I actually have some left. I can write somebody with this. Look at this. Isn't this great? You feel like you're Cosimo de' Medici. Allora. Che bellissima. You like this? I love this. This inspires me. In fact, I had no idea I had paper in here, so my next letter is going out on this. And we have it. Stationery. Stationery, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think? Bell Boots couldn't find any Florentine paper in northern central Italy last week. No kidding. I am so sorry. You would think that would be the place. So sorry. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have to tell you, we have another super sticker from Shack MD for $20. Shack MD. Thank you so much. Shack MD has a wonderful YouTube. Incredible handwriting. Lovely guy. Happy to have him following along with us. Thank you so much. $20 means a lot. Helps keep the lights on. Thank you. This is for you. Cheers. Laddie, you set a good example. Laddie started us off strong early in the game. Shane says, I like them, but I don't know how to get them. Do you mean the Florentine paper? It's kind of easy to get, to be honest, depending on where you are. So if you're in Florence, it's everywhere. If you're in Venice, it's everywhere. If you're in Rome, it's everywhere. If you're on Etsy, it's everywhere. Amazon carries it as well. If you search for Florentine or Florentine stationery, it should come up. I think you will enjoy it. Okay, so we have another thing. I mentioned it earlier. Someone sent me from a company, and they asked whether or not I'd want to share it with the channel. And I thought I'd open it, and then I'll put a link in the description where you guys can find it. And we'll just take a look at it and see if it's worthy of us. I'm always interested when people want to work with me. They're not paying me anything, though, so I don't want you to think that. But, I don't know. Let's have a look at this stuff. Okay. Copperus Woo. So I kind of have an idea of what it is, but I don't know how it fits in these boxes. but I guess we're going to find out. This box is tight, guys. Okay. There's something in here. Okay. Oh, okay. This is what it looks like. Okay. So this is a this looks incredibly different than I was expecting. So this is a bookmark. So it obviously goes into a book. We need a book. Let's go with, ooh, can't just be anything, right? Even though this has a bookmark, let's go with Brideshead, shall we? So I guess you take it and you're reading, and then you just put it there, and then you got an alligator, which is cool when you're in the middle of the book. But what do you do when you're at the end? Is it just me? I mean, what if you're like mostly through the book? Like, okay, I'm mostly through the book. It's a little less elegant, right? Am I doing something wrong? Like, it's cool. I like it. And Lag Gardner could use that gator as a wax stamp. Truly. So, I like it. It's very nice. It's very lovely. It's very well made. It's got some heft to it. But I'll be honest, I'm not sure if it's great with hardcovers, where they have this sort of gully. It might be better with a paperback. I must have a paperback somewhere, mustn't I? Yes. Yes, I do. Here's one. Franklin and Winston. Okay? So now this one, if you were reading near the end, it's still in the game. See? So I think it's meant more for paperbacks. But most people read paperbacks, right? I'm a bit of a hardcover snob. So I don't think it's good for hardcovers, but it's good for this. And I don't know if you want to jostle it around too much. Seems like it should have a longer thing, but it's cool. It's cool. I'm digging it. So there you go. I'll put a link in the description for that. Let me open the other thing because I still have more to do. I still want to tell you guys some stories if I can. And I wanted to show you my new rabbit hole too. But there's one more thing to share with you, and that's this. I think this might even be more apropos to today's goings-ons. Is that proper English, goings-ons? Oh, this is cool, guys. This is cool. So, this is cool, right? So has anybody figured out yet what this is beside a very realistic looking, very angry snake? Well, I'll show you. It's a pen holder. Isn't that cool? That's fun, right? Now that's cool. So I think I'll feature this in some B-roll. This is very cool. I don't know what these things cost, but I will put a link in the comments. I can tell you that they're very well rendered. This is a very impressive piece of metal. Matter of fact, you know what looked freaking brilliant with this? But, oh, did you hear that resonance? Oh, love it. Love it. Now, I would say I wouldn't put something like a Mont Blanc or Pinite or anything with precious resin or real nice polished resin without putting some foam or something on it. But something like this or a Safari. Oh my gosh, did Did you hear that? Listen. Oh, it rings. This thing is alive. So cool. Okay. So this is cool. I think I give the bookmark, I don't know, guys. I give the bookmark like a C. Like, I like it and it's gorgeous, but I don't feel like it goes deep enough, and it has a limitation of not really fitting very well with the hardcovers. But I give this like a B+, and I'd give it an A if it were padded or foam or something where the pen touches. But for your sort of everyday pens, it's cool. And it also has a bit of sort of, like dark academic vibe to it. Like you were somewhere interesting and picked this up at a shop somewhere. It's very cool. So I'll dig out the links, put it in the comments, see what you guys think of that. So I hope you enjoyed those. I really like those. Pen stand. Yes, somebody definitely. Great Lakes Cruiser, the mighty Great Lakes Cruiser. I'm going to dash over here for a sec, out of frame, which I should never do, but I did want to show you guys something because I promised I would share my latest rabbit hole. So hopefully that wasn't too bad. Sorry about that, but I forgot to get it ready before we started the show. So I have fallen down another rabbit hole. Somebody rescue me, please. Throw me a line. If I reach it in time, I'll come back on my own. What is this rabbit hole? Does anybody know what my rabbit hole is? I bet you may not. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is my new rabbit hole. Okay. We have fountain pens. We have wristwatches. We have books. We have barber jackets. We have jeans. Jeans are kind of a new thing for me for some reason. Vintage ties were once. Fedoras. Now we have this. Laddie. Simon. Look at you guys. Magnificent people, you. So this, I'm going to bring the camera down a little. Sorry for the shakes. I just want to get in a little bit. So, this is a 19th century fob wax seal. So it would be on a fob with a bunch of different ones. Has a little bit of damage. I don't care about that. I care when I buy these, I just want to make sure they're intact on the fob and that there's no damage to the seal. Now, probably not super great for showing you what's on here. Oh no, I think I got it right there. Do you see it? It's the head of a Roman. So what makes this really valuable and interesting, can you guys see it there in the glare? I think I have it lined up perfectly for you. I love these when they're generic but usable. So this has a very usable profile of a Roman in, I believe it's glass. I believe the material is glass, cut in. I've already sent it to someone, the same person with the stationery. So I used way too much ink. You don't have to use a lot of ink with this, so I'm learning. Dr. Alaska says it's tiny. It is tiny, but you'd be surprised. They don't have to be that big. You'd be surprised the impression this makes. Oh, I slay myself. But sincerely, a little tiny seal is so charming and so well placed. And with like a Roman head, it makes it very intriguing. It draws you in and you focus quite a bit of attention on it. but it is very small. And sometimes on Etsy or on eBay, they'll sell just the, is it called an Italio? Italio? Forgive me because I don't know. I rely on my wife for that kind of vocabulary, even though it's an Italian word. But they'll sell just that and no stamp or anything. And I won't buy those. But this is neat. If I had more time, I'd heat up some wax and show you. But maybe on a future show. So it's brilliant, guys. I love it. Love it. But that's not all, as they say on infomercials. Because I also got this. This is more of a traditional with a brass stamp. I think this is probably late 19th century, early 20th. But what's cool about it is that it's actually one of my initials. You know, my actual name. And it's certainly perfect to use your own initial. So very excited. So there we have it. So it's my initial. And it's very nice. This looks great stamped. So very excited about these. You're going to see more of these. I'm going to be buying more of these. So we will have more of these on the show soon. So that is my latest rabbit hole. What do you think of that? I'm so excited, by the way. I love the romance of the wax seals. I am so immersed into my own world of books and writing and filming and editing, learning new things. I'm reading a book now called The Cloisters that's so fun. It's sort of a lighter version of The Secret Histories. I'm sure it fits into dark academia. In fact, I am about to finish. I shouldn't say finish. I should say start. I'm about to start the 5 more pens for dark academia. I filmed a bunch of that in New York City. And I just have like 1 or 2 pens to film at home. So, and it's funny, you can fit it seamlessly into something you film elsewhere. It's amazing that if you film in a gorgeous library and then you need some other shots and you're like, oh, I wish I took them when I was there. If you take a book of libraries and you put your lighting and some interesting items and you put the pen with it, it fits in seamlessly. So that's why you'll see a lot of picture books around the house. That's what I do. So I think you will enjoy that. So the whole wax seal thing is just really hitting me in a spot. And I've just been enjoying looking for ones and buying ones, but I won't spend stupid money. There are people on there that want $1,000. There's ones that are from like Polish counts that have rubies on them and whatnot. I'm not interested in any of that. I want interesting ones that have few, if any, personalized markings, or ones that can be bent to me and my family. So you're going to see a lot more dark academia on this channel. A lot more. The next one is interesting because I'm doing not just pens. So it's going to be 5 more fountain pens for dark academia and how to bring dark academia into your life. 5 ways, like we did with Hygge. Do you remember that? That was fun. Wasn't that the best part of the Hygge video? I thought so. It wasn't the pens necessarily. It was how to bring it into your life, I thought. So, Laddie's a fan. Dark Academia and Churchill. And Ollie. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys like that. By the way, if you're a fan of the Churchill video, my commentary on the Churchill video is up in the members section. So become a member and have perks. I'm also thinking about releasing one of the blooper reels to everyone so that they can get an idea of some of the fun we have in the members section. So, I gotta put this off because Allie's so right. 5 ways, so 7. Yeah, possibly. Possibly, yes. Sometimes it's 5, 6, 7. Sometimes I just do whatever, as you guys know. Oh, lots of love for Churchill. Yeah, you know what? I think Conway Stewart's done with me, though. Because they were supposed to send me the Prince Charles coronation pen, and they never did. So I think they were tired of working with me, which I'm a lot, so I'm not going to hold it against anyone. And the Conway Stewart people are lovely people. They were a joy to work with. If they ever wanted me to help them promote something, I would. I love their pens. I love them as people. When I go to England next, I'm going to make a point to stop by. But I don't think they're going to be sending any more pens. I think I'm just a lot sometimes, guys. It's a lot of personality. Dr. Alaska says membership is truly worth it. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate it. I really work hard to make it worthwhile for you guys. I really do. And I rely on you guys for guidance. So, very good stuff. And you see I have Donna Tartt over here. Secret Histories, one of my favorite books. Let me move this. But right next to Bill. You know I like it if it's next to Bill. So I thought I'd tell you guys a little quick story before we wrap up this evening. By the way, I promised an interesting yet chaotic show. And I feel like I lived up to that. Don't you? I lived up to that. I probably should have called this show an interesting and chaotic show. But I think we did well. Evil Critter says, I have no doubt they sold a few extra pens because of you in that great video. I hope so. I love that video. I'm so proud of that. Although, you know me, we started off this hour criticizing one of my videos. If I were to do that again, I would mix the sound better. I'd love another shot at mixing that sound. But it's over. It's behind me now. But I'd love to mix that sound. I could do it. I could do it. All I have to do is take my copy, delete the soundtrack, redo a voiceover, and then put the music back and then mix it. But I'm not going to do that. But I could. Okay, so I was going to say a little story. So I think I'll mention how New York was. I'll make it brief. But we're going to have a lot more stories as the weeks go on, because there's a lot I want to share with you guys. So, New York, we took the train down, and that was the right move. The train is still a very civilized way to travel. It was on time. It was easy to get a seat once you learn your way, and it was very, very comfortable. And my daughter, her stomach was fine. She usually gets an upset stomach, but she rode it no problem. She stayed in her seat the whole time, and she was a joy to travel with. One of the other beautiful things is now when you come into New York, you no longer crawl up from the bottom of Madison Square Garden like a rat, like you did after they knocked down Pennsylvania Station. There's now a rather nice new hall, the Patrick Moynihan Hall, train hall. It's sort of a retro train station with a glass roof and steel supports that are very visible, and a stylized Art Deco clock mimicking Penn Stations in the center. Very nice station. Very nice hall. Very well done. No seats, though. They definitely don't want anyone like, the homeless to populate it, so they don't make it very comfortable. But it's a much better place to come up out of a train or wait to go into a train. So that was nice. What they did was they took the postal annex that was next to Madison Square Garden. They hollowed it out. They built up the roof. They made it gorgeous, and they put it there. And I think they're knocking down Madison Square Garden at some point and redeveloping that into something prettier and better. We can only hope. So that was all wonderful. The best part was on the way back, when the queue was quite long and I was holding my daughter in my arms and we were at the back of the queue, and the lady said, "You go right to the front." So we walked around everyone and they let us in the front and we got to go on the train first, which was very nice. It upset some people, but all I can say is get your own 6-year-old. Why don't you? And then you can do it too. Don't hold it against me. So I had 6-year-old privilege and I used it. They actually told us to. So very civilized guys. I mean, they want the kids settled first. They don't want parents and kids broken, split up. It was a full train. Lovely ride back. Very genteel. So an amazing story. So very, very fun trip. My daughter was amazed at New York. So good stuff, guys. Well, I could talk all night, but I do find the further I go past the hour, the less compelling I am, I think. So I'm going to say my adieu here, and we'll be back again. And I have more stories. I want to tell you about a ghost I saw. This is someone who came back from the dead. That's going to be a story I tell you on a future episode of Hemingway Jones Live. Totally true, and it's a New York-based story. I think you're going to enjoy that one. And then I'm going to tell you a story about the ugly American. And this was the time when I was in Venice and I became the ugly American. It is full of fear and loathing. I think you'll enjoy that story too. So that will come up on a future episode. So thank you for watching this long. If you've watched this video to this point, subscribe and join the channel as a member. You like this stuff, so come join us. Let me know who you are. Thank you all. Love you all. Thanks for the super chats. Thanks for all the likes and attention and for your generous comments. You guys are the best. New video Thursday at noon on the Mont Blanc 146 Flex Pen. Don't miss it. So I love you all. Great to see you all. See you further up the road. Take care.